During this session, we will be talking about the aftermath and the conclusions of World War I. As we talked about at the in the last video, there was a lot of devastation after World War I. It was known as the Great War until World War II, when it became called World War I. But there was widespread loss from every country that participated. The United States, even though they came in late and contributed the least out of all of the other major countries, we still lost thousands of men, and Russia lost millions, France lost millions, Germany lost 11 million. They lost the second most after Russia. And so everybody's infrastructure, there's holes in their country, lots of millions of their people are dead, and there's just a lot of suffering going on in Europe after the war. Germany was made to take responsibility for a lot that went on in the world in the World War, because of they kind of came to become known as the bad guys, since they were the one practicing the unrestricted warfare and sending letters to Mexico, and they were very powerful too. They had a big military and good weapons, and they were seen as kind of the enemy that emerged on the opposition side of the war from us. The German people were hungry after the war. They've lost the war. The people are tired. They're hungry, and the Kaiser stepped down, the king, German word for you today, and the government called for a truce, Armistice Day. That means peace day, the day that they signed the ceasefire for the war. Was November 11th, 1918 at 11 a.m., 11/11/18 at 11. Wilson was there. They had a meeting in Paris of all of the major countries that had participated in the war. President Wilson did not want another war, and so he said, we have to resolve this. We have to keep our heads straight, and we have to resolve this properly so that we won't have another world war, because this was terrible. The Allied leaders, especially France, because most of the war was fought there and France was devastated by this war, wanted to punish Germany severely for their participation in the war. Wilson drew up a plan called his 14 points. He did not want to punish Germany and the other countries that fought against us in the war, because he thought we should just walk away, peacefully live our lives, and hopefully it would prevent a future war. President Wilson said we should share the seas, we should help reorganize Europe. People had taken land and, been imperialistic. He's like, we should redistribute this land, give the land back to where it belongs, to the people, and stop making these alliances. Most importantly, he wanted to create something called a League of Nations, kind of like a peacekeeping club, to prevent any more wars, and he thought all the countries should get together and want to be in this club, this League of Nations. Who wouldn't want to prevent another war? He thought that people would see things his way, but the other countries were very mad about what had happened, and they weren't really willing to listen to him that much. So President Wilson goes, and he's ready to make peace, but the other countries, they were not willing to go as far as he was. He said, freedom of the seas, freedom of trade, let's reduce how many weapons we have, no more of this militarism. These colonies that people have created with their imperialism, we need to, like I said, give some of those lands back, and we need to help the French. We need to give back a lot of the land that was taken in World War I, too. And Austria-Hungary, he thought we should redivide that and divide those two countries because they were too powerful together. But most importantly, he wanted to create this League of Nations. Well, England and France and Russia said no to most of his ideas. They said that they insisted on putting something called war guilt on Germany, and Germany had to accept responsibility for starting the war. They wanted them to take responsibility for everything, even things that they had a lot of help doing. And here's a political cartoon, and we've got some men saying you got to swallow it whether you like it or not, and who we have the peace terms. We have America, most importantly, saying that the 4 big pills worth millions a box. So this is basically Germany telling the Allied powers that they have to swallow the peace terms whether they like it or not. The worst part of the War Guilt Treaty was reparations. Reparations is when you pay financially for damages, and the Germans were made to pay for all of the damage that they had supposedly caused during the war, and the amount was huge. It was something that they could not afford. The United States Congress also did not support President Wilson's League of Nations because they just wanted to go back to isolationism. They didn't want to be involved in anything with Europe again because World War I was over. It was still awful. It was still fresh in everyone's minds, and the boys had come home either dead or torn up from poison gas or machine guns or whatever they saw in the trenches over there. And Henry Cabot Lodge says he's the leader of this opposition in Congress to this League of Nations. So even the United States Congress did not want to join the Peace Club. The Treaty of Versailles was sent to Congress, and it had a lot of opponents. They thought that it was still getting too involved with Europe and Europe's problems. Wilson was unwilling to compromise with the Senate, and so the Senate never approved the Treaty of Versailles, and the United States never joined the League of Nations. Consequences of this war guilt clause and all of the holes in the Treaty of Versailles, there were new nations created. So there were some good things that came out of the treaty too. There were several new countries that were created after World War I. Countries were broken up. Austria and Hungary were broke into 2 pieces. Czechoslovakia was created, also Yugoslavia. And so there was less power concentrated in the Central Europe because there were smaller countries now. Germany was humiliated and bitter and wanted revenge for the war guilt clause and being made to be held responsible for everything for the war. These feelings will allow for the rise of Hitler and the Nazi Party. It's so important that you remember that the aftermath of World War I in so many ways, and the Treaty of Versailles in so many ways, led to the rise of World War II. World War I is just part 1. The sequel comes soon afterwards. Instead of the peace Wilson had hoped for, it made the Nazis have a resurgence of nationalism whenever they get back on their feet. And the European countries will have tension again for the sequel, like I said. After the World War ended, the United States wanted to go back to isolationism. Like I said, Congress didn't even want to join the League of Nations because they just didn't want to be involved in anything that was going on over there because it had been so terrible. And we are going to practice isolationism until World War II, and we'll try to stay out of that war for as long as we can until we end up saying, just like in World War I, okay, we can't remain uninvolved anymore. But because of our isolationism, we didn't get involved. We did have economic prosperity in the 20s, and people had, for the most part, we had financial security and overall a good time in the 1920s because of the decisions we made following World War I. So, in conclusion, After World War I, we tried to remain neutral and not get involved in the war, but unfortunately, Germany kept poking us. They sent that letter to Mexico, that telegram, asking Mexico to attack us, and then they were sinking our boats using unrestricted submarine warfare, and we entered the war in 1917. After the war, Wilson tried to get everybody to play nice and to just let bygones be bygones, exercise forgiveness, and try to not get into another war with a peacekeeping club called the League of Nations, but a lot of people were not willing to join, including the United States, and the French and the British were intent on punishing the Germans and making them sign a big check for millions of dollars in reparations that they could not afford because they were broke as a joke after the war. Their country was in, it was full of holes, just like France was, and they had lost a lot of their population. They had spent all of this money, and they were in a bad way. They were also forced to apologize for the entirety of the war and take all of the responsibility when there were lots of people involved as well, and they were very bitter about what happened, and they are going to get their revenge in the sequel, World War II.